everybody. Starsinger here. So let's do Donald Trump. Not that I love or hate anybody, him in particular, but he's an interesting character and it's a good astrology lesson. Okay, so here we go. We are going to get that one up. There we go. There's the chart for the Donald. Now, as you see here, he has the ascendant is at, here it says AS, right? Leo, 2956. So this is an anaretic degree. This is right on the edge of being a Virgo rising. So what this is saying is it's the big plunge. It is the last hurrah. The 29th degree in astrology is called the anaretic degree, and it means it is the last hurrah for this energy to complete itself. And so it's big, it's important, and it is cuspy, but it's still what it is. Now, in a few minutes of birth time, that would change because it only takes 4 minutes for the degree of ascendancy to change. Every 4 minutes, it goes a degree. So this could be in 58 minutes. So this could, in 8 minutes, this is going to be Virgo rising. So what happens here? What are we saying? We're saying that he could be a Virgo rising. I mean, when you have a cusp that close, an ascendant close to the next house cusp, it's who knows, because my idea and many others' idea of the birth, the actual moment of ascendancy of the soul into the body, the birth isn't the coming out of the mommy, it's the first breath. And so I've been in delivery rooms and, you know, the shit happens, the stuff is happening, it's pretty insane. And in a few minutes afterwards, one of the nurses casually looks at the wall clock and writes down a number, and that's the time. And we consider that legitimate. But, you know, when my granddaughter was born, the wall clock was 12 minutes off, and she wrote it down a couple minutes after Taylor started breathing. So, you know, I could back that birth time backwards. And I have a feeling that backing birth times a few degrees backwards isn't such a bad thing, because that first breath, I doubt if those nurses are going, okay, she breathing, yeah, and look at the clock, you know? So that's a tricky business. Anyway, I just watching Trump, he's a Leo rising, no doubt, no question at all. Not to mention the fact that Mars is right there with the ascendant. So at the moment of birth, that first breath is breathing in the biggest heart, because Leo is the heart, the big heart. Now, this is egotistical, but if you go through the whole archetype of the heart, the heroic energy of the heart and the sun, the solar creature, Apollo, all that means is that at sunrise, the king rises. In other words, we're really happy to see the sun. The sun is going to warm us up, and we really are cold through the night. We get very chilly. So when the sun comes up, we're really happy to see it. So people with Leo rising and big heart, the big heart energy, it's like saying the energy of the sun comes through a person with a strong Leo signature. It comes through and it projects out. And so, for instance, it's the actor. It's the actor on stage. That's the sun. He's our favorite celebrity, right? But what does the actor do? They bring a story to you. They bring you a story of heroism, of struggle and achievement and beauty. And those are all the key words for the sun. And in the Kabbalah over here, that center orange one, that's the heart right there in the middle. Grand central station of love. That's where all the peripheral energies of creation come together, right here in our hearts. So people with Leo rising really want to be seen. They want to be loved, and they want to love you back. Now, I've heard from many people that Trump is loving to his family and friends in a way that might be surprising to those of us and you and me and whoever, think that he is egotistical and obnoxious. His family and friends love him because he is a loving man, but he also has an abrasive presentation because he has Mars right there on front. So he's direct. He is fearlessly himself. And sometimes people, well, what does that mean? I know that I just saw a bit where they were criticizing and saying, oh, he's such a jerk because he said, shoot bleach into your veins during COVID. That's a joke. He makes jokes. He's a funny guy. He's an actor. And if you look at this moon over here, moon in Sag, conjunct the south node. Let me get a tool here. Conjunct the south node. And let me see. No, hang on. Patience with the old woman, please. There we go. Field eclipse. No. Let's have let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. So there. That's perfect. So there's that moon in Sag. That's also fiery. Now, fire in astrology represents passion. Now, what do we mean by passion? That's what we mean is something that you just love so much you can't stop trying to do it, get it, find it, go for it, be it. Passion. The passion of the Christ is not to suffer and die. The passion of the Christ is that he wants to fulfill his duty to show you how to God. How to God. This is how you God. Not to say, I am the guy. That's not what he said. He said, this is how we do this divine job as humans, as the moral center. That's what the Christ is trying to say. And that's the Christ heart, is saying, I have so much invested in showing you how to God, how to do this, how to bring the yin and yang creations and all the vortices together within this body and be the beacon on the hill. Yeah. So that's passion. Now, so this guy's passionate. So he has that deep force of desire. And whatever the desire is the passion. So we equate passion with sex. Oh, it's passionate. It's a love story. And we can do that. And certainly the romance stories are passionate. But really, I think the most passionate are the preachers. And those are the Sagittarians. And the downfall of a Sagittarian is when he begins to believe his own bullshit. Because belief is a tricky business. So back to Trump. He has moon conjunct the south node. Well, guess what? So do I. I've done a lot of introspection on this one. But right now, I'm just going to click on the solar fire meanings. Oh, will it give it to me? Oh, it's not going to let me do that in the share. All right, never mind. Moon with the south node means that you are repeating a sense of, and the moon is spaciousness. It's like dissolution. So you're repeating this ego dissolution, but it's in that fiery part passion area, you see. So for him, I think that his passion is so natural, and it's from lifetimes. Because wherever you have the south node, you have something that you're probably pretty good at, whether you like doing it or not. It's just kind of the way you are. And the moon is definitely the way you are. All right, so these are the passionate areas, the Sagittarius here, and then all that Leo there. Now, this is whole sign, which I use because I'm a simple girl, and this is a simple system. I don't have to jump between house cusps and have two different signs in one house. I can't do that. It's just too confusing. My ADHD stuff just doesn't like it. And plus, I'm much better at doing the work the way I do it if I keep it simple. Mercury in Taurus, I need to go down deep and I need to keep it simple. I always say, tell it to me like I'm 5. So I'm going to tell it to you like you're 5. It's how I roll. All right. So now we look at the Gemini man with the sun and the North Node and Uranus all together there in the house of public awareness. Now, the North Node is not what you're supposed to do, as the Western astrologers taught me for all these years. The Vedics have it right when they say the North Node is a hungry mouth without a body. Everything it eats falls out of its neck. The North Node is a devouring monster. If you don't take care to understand what it is that you are devouring with huge desire, you're going to get yourself in trouble. It is not a friendly sign. It is not. And he's got it up there with Uranus and the sun. Okay, so what that says to me, and it's in Gemini, which is the magician tarot, right? This says, all over it, it says, I have so much inspiration. I have so many details to attend to that I'm kind of ADHD myself. This is kind of ADHD. That's what I think. I mean, I'm looking for the ADHD signals in all the charts now because I think I am. So I'm always projecting. That's what I do. All right. So here we have Uranus, which is on the right side of the pillar, the top blue one on the right, and it's the daddy. It's the inventor. In the Matrix, this is the architect. He's the planner. But guess what? He doesn't have any hands. He doesn't have a body. So he just thinks up stuff and he shoots it over into his wife, Gaia, on the left. And she absorbs all of his ideas and she ruminates them about and goes, oh, I get it. I get it. It's if it's dirty, ugly, good, bad, she doesn't care. She is completely amoral on it. No judgment. It just flows through her. And she's kind of misty and she's water and she melts everything. So she melts it into goo. And then the process goes on back down to another character and another character, and it zigzags down in the Kabbalah. That's what's going on there. Okay, so my point is that he has inspiration from a far away place, right? Way up there. But guess what? The sign of it is Gemini, which is close, familiarity, the neighborhood, the pals, quick trips to the store. It represents the messenger bringing one little thought. It's like a piece of paper on a note, torn off. You tear it off and you go, here we go. I'm tearing it off. There's the paper. And this is my favorite new thing. I'm going to write $25 here. See, I wrote $25 on there. All right. So this is a very Gemini thing to do. And I'm going to start giving these $25 pieces of torn paper to people. Say, that's money. I say so. I say so. There's some money. Why not? It's written. it's printed with ink on a piece of paper. Money. Yeah. My point, do you see my point? It's like Geminis get these silly little fun ideas and we just jump around and hop around. And it's up to others or other parts of ourselves to sort of integrate all those crazy messages. And that's why Gemini can be humorous. I mean, George Carlin, I should probably do a list of all the funny Geminis because if nothing else, we're the clowns who can make fun of ourselves. And that's my most fun thing to do. All right. And I think Trump does that. I think he does it in public, and I think that's his appeal. That's why people like him. Because honestly, politically speaking, yes, he did some great things, good things, but he also did some really shitty things. Now, what I want to get to is him doing shitty things. And the reason that he did shitty things, in my opinion, is that here we go. The reason he did the shitty things is because, no, that's not right. Uh-huh. Again. All right, so here we go. You hurt his feelings. Oh, well, that's kind of a big circle. You hurt his feelings. Leo rising, we hurt his feelings. We shamed him. We discounted him. The sun came up and the sun was like, here I am to save the day. And everybody went, oh, you have a little penis. Oh, you're stupid. Oh, you're fat. We hate you. And so the sun went, except look what happened. He has 3 planets in Cancer. Very sensitive, people. Very sensitive. And he has them in the number 12 space. When you have planets in the number 12 space, those are the things that are deep in your soul, the deep wounds, and all of the stuff that you're going to do to act out in an unconscious way. Because the only way you can get a hold of this stuff is you go into an ashram and you look at yourself and ask questions and let other people ask you questions and meditate and pray and blah, blah, blah. The 12th house is a lonely house. And he has Saturn there and he has Venus there and he has Mercury there. Mercury is the boss of all of his clownish Gemini stuff. So guess what happens? The boss of his sun, the happy, brilliant God of light, and the messenger keeps bringing up messages that are just foot in mouth, shoot foot, because he thinks it's funny. He's joking. He's telling you his sorrow through humor. But you're not getting it. We're not getting it because guess what? We're judgmental jerks. That's what tribes do. Tribalism is judgmental and by design, because we don't want people in the tribe that are going to mess up our genetics. And we might not have called that genetics in the past. But Joseph Campbell tells a story. This is really horrifying, but it's what happened. These people in some Borneo place with caves and no writing and all that. Okay, so Campbell tells the story how the men take the boys when they get to puberty. They take them into the deepest fucking far, deep, scary hole in the ground, crawling like till they get to the cavern. And then they have the kids lie down. And if any of the kids, and they tell them what to do this, do this, do this. And if there's a kid who doesn't do what they said to do, they kill him. Because the tribe doesn't like it when somebody doesn't follow the tribe rules. That's what's going on right now. The tribe really hates it when someone speaks out because, wait a minute, this is how it's done. This is how it works. Do not break it. Except guess what? Time moves on and things need to be broken. And so the people who speak out, sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes they're visionaries who are right. That's the mix. So you put Trump in there. Here's this guy with this big ego and also a lot of love and also some business acumen. And he could probably do as good a job as any of these other creeps. And if only we're allowed to vote for the people we actually like instead of the ones that are put in front of us. Choose this king or that king. You know, it's like, no, how about we choose Joe Blow, the blacksmith? Okay. Or how about we choose Betty over here? She's been a housewife. Now she's a grandmother. Choose her. No, we have to choose this king or that king. See how this is working. My point is, because his feelings were so hurt, because he was so cruelly abused, it was cruelly abusive what happened when he became president. People in the streets screaming as if their lives were over, like a bunch of squalling babies. It was really ridiculous. It was such a painful thing for this man who really was trying to do a good thing, that he ended up with advisors who were really bad for all of us, including himself. But see, he didn't have that kind of judgment because he's got all this number 12 energy that what 12 does is it makes you It makes you suffer so that you can understand the cycle of suffering that you're in. And so he picked the people that would increase that suffering for himself. And these advisors, they hurt our country. I mean, the banking people that he had, I mean, and Pompeo, and that's when the Assange thing, and they couldn't, it's like, no, journalists are not allowed to say when we've been evil and wicked. I mean, the whole thing kind of cascaded down into a mess, because if he had been a happy sunshine dude, he may have made different choices about who he had consulting him, because the king is no better than his consultants. When you have rapacious and greedy and vindictive consultants, you have a bad king. So what I'm saying to us Americans is, let's be careful about how we vilify our leaders, because someone who has the potential for doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing can be pushed in a direction. That's what this 11th house is about. This 11th house that's the people, that's the audience. The 5th house, this is the actor, this is the person on stage. The 5th house is the actor. Whatever the actor gives, he gives in full to the audience. And you can see the red lines across the chart here. Actor, performer, audience. Well, are you going to be an encouraging and appreciative audience, or are you going to boo the actor? That's what happened. That is exactly what happened. Trump became president. He was gobsmacked. He did not expect it. He got in there because Hillary said, why don't you get in there? Because Hillary thought she could beat him. Little did she know that people prefer a genuine, honest person who speaks his mind, even if it's stupid at times, over a disingenuous, lying bitch. So he didn't expect to win, and he did. So there he was, suddenly foisted into there and going, okay, take a breath. Maybe I can do this. Okay. And then turning around, and his audience is on his butt. The audience disapproved. And this just hurt all of us. It hurt us. So I think that the main message that I really want to convey in this instance is that we don't do ourselves any favor by ridiculing somebody. We do ourselves a favor when we find another person's or a leader's best feature and emphasize it. Emphasize Trump's humor. Emphasize his willingness to have an open mind, because he does. He's a Gemini. Geminis are eminently curious. We just can't stand to leave a leaf unturned. I just constantly, oh, what's under that leaf? Oh, what's there? Oh, did you read this? Oh, guess what I saw today? I mean, this is how the messenger functions. So if he should get in again, could we please be more circumspect, whether we like him or not? Let's encourage him to be his best self, to be the best actor, because he actually has a history of being an actor. So let him do it. Let him be our actor. Let him put people around him that would be helpful and productive for all of us, for the world. All right, there we go. That is all I have for today. Preaching on how to do politics in the most spiritual way that we possibly can. Thank you for watching. Like and share.